What is up, everyone? Astronaut here, and welcome back to my modded Let's Play series. Today, I think we need to start a bit of automation, and I think the first thing we want to automate is actually some crops. So, yeah, we have our little crop farm over here, which is mostly just wheat, and actually it's looking pretty nice now that it's all filled in. And I also did light up a little bit of this area around here so we don't have mobs spawning. But if you remember from the last episode, I said I wanted to kind of have a garden out back here. And I did lay down the groundwork for some of this. So I cleared out some of this area and then dug some little areas here for some of the beds and then have some raised beds, maybe a little hanging trellis thing, and then a shed over there, which I think we're going to be putting some create mod components in that shed. Maybe some crushing wheels, some crafters and stuff like that. It may end up going to the basement, but I do want to have it somewhere at least. And then also, if you can see behind me, I did take a few things off the house, like the flywheels. They were just kind of getting in the way. I didn't really like them that much. They're kind of just annoying me. But yeah, so I think what we need to do is just kind of just make a pathway through here, and then we got to fill in all the stuff here with all the different crops. But like I said, I do want to do some automation with this. And obviously, just having these up here is not going to be automated, but we can automate crop farming with the create mod. And I'm thinking of maybe doing like a rotary farm underneath all of this with all the different crops, just so that it's, out of the way, but still efficient and constantly runs. So yeah, we have up here, we have our nice looking crop areas here, but then down below, we'd have an automatically running farm that produces even more and sends it automatically to our storage system right under here. So I think the first thing we need to do is lay down some of the groundwork for just around the pathways and things, seeing how we're going to connect this pathway up, what's going to go in between the different beds here and all that. So I think I'm going to do some dirt paths with maybe some coarse dirt and then some oak planks in between. I actually did add another mod since last time, which is the Woodworks mod, which does add a sawmill. So I think we'll make that real quickly and then probably just place it here for now, probably move it later, but we can basically turn everything right into the variants that we need. I also just put up this little table in here because I needed a tinkering table for Chipped, and then just thought it might look nice to have like a kind of like a little workbench over here. Then I think I might also take a bit of rocky dirt just to transition between the more rocky stony path here over to a more dirty sort of dirt path. That was obviously the best way to phrase all of that. I think if we just start here, we can probably just carve out a bit of space here to maybe transition this over into a little bit more of, again, that rocky, stony type over to kind of more of a dirtier dirt path. Honestly, I think we're probably just going to start off by just filling all of this in with dirt paths and then go back through and see what I want to change or if I want to add any other things in between for a kind of variation. All right, I think that's pretty good for now. I think now we can start actually placing in some of these oak planks. So I'm just gonna make a few for now and then just start placing them around here and see what happens. All right, I know this kind of looks weird right now, but trust me, it will get a lot better soon. I think there's a pretty clear contrast here where it starts going over here to the little gardening area. I do want to maybe add a bit more green in here. I may add some other plants as well, but obviously we haven't even added in the actual beds yet. So we should probably go do that next. And of course, we're not just going to be using regular old farmland for this. No, we're actually going to be using Farmer's Delight. And so that's going to be, I think it's rich soil. Yeah, rich soil. And that is made by decomposing organic compost. But in order to get straw, I'm pretty sure you can just come over here, grab a knife, and just swing it at some grass. So I go over here where there's a lot of grass, and I break this with this knife here. I assume I'm supposed to get straw. So it is working. I think there's a lot of tall grass over here, which might be a good place to go, just so we can maximize our straw per area. All right, so I've gone and got quite a bit of straw. I have about 5 stacks plus 1. And now that means that I can make a bit more of this compost. There's actually 2 recipes. So there's the one with the rotten flesh and there's one with a bunch of tree bark. I was actually thinking if I just grow a couple tall trees, like a few giant spruce trees, I can probably use this and conserve a lot of bone meal. Several trees later, and I think we probably have enough wood for now at least. So let's head back, strip all these logs, and make a bunch of organic compost. There we go, 2.5 stacks. That's pretty decent. Now, the process of using this to create the rich soil requires sunlight next to water, and there's certain activators that also help speed up the process. So a lot of these are actually mushrooms and then like podzol and mycelium. So I think we're going to place as many of these as we can together near some water and then just cover them up with mushrooms. The best place to do this is down here at this lake because we have a lot of room and we can spread these out as much as necessary. So I think we're going to just start off by bridging out with these just as far as we can. There we go. Place down some organic compost. So we're just going to bridge out here. Yeah, if this is all surrounded by water, hopefully it will speed up. And there we go. The last ones are now placed and it actually made a perfect rectangle that was not intentional. Then I can go ahead and start placing these mushrooms down. And these, I think, will grow into mushroom colonies. And then, yeah, we just let these go for a little while. I know it does take longer if there's no sun, so I may sleep through this night to go faster. Well, it looks like all of our compost turned into rich soil and all our mushrooms turned into huge mushroom colonies. And I think every single one of these is turned into rich soil. Yeah, I think that was the last one we were waiting on. But I think all the rest of these have turned into rich soil, so we can just take them all up and bring them up to our house. All right, we got 2.5 stacks of rich soil, which should be enough for these little areas. And then hopefully for the rotary farm underneath, which we haven't designed quite yet. But it shouldn't be too terrible. So I actually only have 15 left of this, and so that means we're probably actually are gonna have to make a little bit more, or I could just use the standard soil. I think that would be fine as well, but I just know rich soil, it grows faster and then you don't need to hydrate it, so that's a lot easier. But yeah, I think this is looking good. We just need to kind of fill this in with whatever plants we're gonna put in here. And then, yeah, add some sides to the raised beds here, and then I still need to figure out what I'm gonna do with this. But like I said, yeah, the rich soil actually is able to be hoed and will not be converted back into normal soil instead of the farmland, even if you jump on it, which I think is a really nice part about this. So I can just go and till all of this here, and yeah, we should be left with some pretty good looking farmland. All right, so I went ahead and filled in the entire garden. I got all the Farmer's Delight and vanilla crops in here. And I think it turned out perfectly. I think this is exactly what I was looking for. I was hoping it would turn out exactly this way. So some of these are still growing. I had to move the beetroots, so they're still not entirely grown. And the rice as well, which I just planted in here a minute ago. But yeah, we have the glowberries, which are going to be hanging, and hopefully, yep, they're growing. Hopefully, we're going to get some berries on here soon. We got some tomatoes hanging up out here, and then we've got carrots, potatoes, onions, cabbage, and of course we got decorations throughout the whole thing. So some crates, we got a basket, and then the target dummy, which is kind of supposed to be a scarecrow. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, this is pretty much what the garden looks like. And again, I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I really think this is exactly what I was going for, and I hope you guys enjoy it as well. So there were a few other things I did want to get done. So I wanted at some point to put some bees out. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it here or somewhere else. So I haven't yet done that. But then I did also mark out this area here because I would like to do a cornfield actually. All right, this should be enough corn. I'm not going to need too much of it, but I just figured if you're going to have a cornfield, might as well make it a whole cornfield, right? But yeah, I think that's going to turn out really well once the corn all grows up and, covers this whole area back here. So now that I've got all this done, I think the next thing is obviously the giant hunk of cobblestone just sitting in the middle of my garden, which is going to be the shed. So we're going to start some work on that now. I think this is actually the proportions that I want this to be. And I did go ahead and also dig out a spot underneath here, which is where I'm going to be putting the little basement as well as hopefully a little crop farm. Probably going to have the crop farm running around here and then connect right up to the storage in my main base right through this wall. But anyway, I think to design the actual building itself, I decided to just bring the sawmill out here because it would be a lot easier than going back and forth every time we need a block. I think we're going to do the floor of stone bricks, just something like this, kind of scattered around, and then fill this in with some of these guys, and then a few cracked ones as well. I think that's probably good. We just need to start with placing down the outline of the building itself. All right, I think that's looking pretty good. I do want to start off, before doing anything else, actually adding on a roof. And I think I'm going to do dark oak, do some trapdoors and slabs. All right, with the bulk of the roof in, I think we can start putting on some more details. So I do want some supports in here, and then I think I'm going to fill these in with some framed slabs for the oak planks and maybe a window in the middle. So that should all be filled in. Then all we need to do is just quickly add in a window back here and a window up here. I think that's the bulk of the building itself done, and I think it turned out pretty decently. But now, of course, we've got to fill in this shed with all sorts of gardening type things. You would probably stick some shelves right about here, and then up here, sack of flour here, canvas rugs here, some crates of vegetables here, here, and here, sack here, maybe hang another one from the ceiling here, and a crate open there. Maybe also a flower pot here and here, just for, variety. I think this is looking pretty good. I think I can add one or two more things though. We can use the Garden Stuffs mod to make Garden Stuffs blueprints. I think we want to do some pitchforks and maybe some shovels. And then maybe a copper lantern as well. So I was thinking shovels here, pitchforks over here, lantern up in the middle here. And then finally, we still need an entrance to the basement area. So I think I was going to make that right down here, and we can just kind of dig through here. Place a trap door about there, and then some ladders all the way down. Actually, this is probably more center of the overall hole than what I originally had, so that's pretty good. Yeah, I think this is pretty good. I think this is exactly what I was looking for. And if you go into free cam mode, it kind of fits in with the whole thing here. It kind of just brings the whole area together and fills in the spots. So I may end up adding like glow lichen or something hanging on the sides here just to give it a bit more variety. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. But yeah, now that this is finished, I think we can head down here and start on our underground create mod area. So like I said before, this is going to have our crushing wheels, auto crafters, all the big stuff that I can't really fit in our attic upstairs. So this is going to be a lot of that big stuff. And then again, automatic farm here, harvesting all the crops we're growing up there, and then sending it automatically to our storage system. This is pretty much our first bit of automation, and I'm super excited for it. All right, so I think I'm gonna start off with just making the walls and floor of this basement area. And I think with the floor, I'm gonna do some dark oak, and then the walls, gonna do some stone and stone bricks. And we've got the floor, walls, and ceiling all finally in, as well as some light sources and just some decorative pillars. So I have split up this whole area into a few different sections. So these are 5x5 areas, and this is 7x5, but these are here, so this actually makes it 5x5. So pretty much everything's 5x5, and then we have these two 3x5 areas as well. The two things I definitely know for sure I want in here are the automatic crafters, so the mechanical crafters. So yeah, the recipe for each one of these crafters is a crafting table, brass casing, and electron tube. And we don't really have any of those right now. So brass casing, obviously you can use brass to apply onto wood. And then for the electron tube, that's going to be polished rose quartz and iron plates. So each of these makes 3, and I need 25. So I have to do this recipe basically 9 times, which shouldn't be too bad because that just means we need 9 polished rose quartz. Got 4, let's get 5 more real quick. Then to get these all polished up, we need to place them here and give this guy some sandpaper. While he's doing that, we can get some iron and make some iron sheets. But we need to press those down, and these are all ready for us. All right, 9 electron tubes. There we go. All right, and there we go. Mechanical crafters. We got 27 of them. That should be enough. And then I think we just need a power source for this. Looks like our copper golem actually oxidized on us, so we need to clean him up a bit, and he should be good to go. There we go. Now the question is, which wall do I want this on? I could stick it in here and then make the output over here, or I could stick it on this wall. So if I'm sticking on this wall here, I should probably just stick them into the wall a little bit, and then I'll probably make just a hopper or something coming out here so I can put them in a chest when the items come out. Then to get power out here, you need to use a cogwheel. So I think I'll use cogwheel and then maybe one more, a gearbox here, and then we can fit our 2 water wheels here, hopefully. Right, there should be room to place the water wheels here, and there is. Perfect. And I think I can just place water here and then get one more water bucket and place it here. And this should be producing stress now. So if I want to bump up the speed of this guy before it reaches here, I should probably attach a large cogwheel here and then do a small one. So these look like they're powered now, and it's not going to be too fast, but you know, it's not going to be the slowest thing in the world either. And I've also made myself 25 crafter slot covers here, which when I'm not using, I can stick them in the barrel. When I'm crafting something like the crushing wheels, for instance, which needs those spots taken care of, we can use those and we'll still be able to have all of these up here. All right, so I think everything is properly hooked up here. Means, yeah, I think we can place the last item in and go. And there we go, our crushing wheel. Perfect. Now I do need a place for the crushing wheels as well. I was thinking I could put them here, but that would require me to actually find a different place for this door here. So I think we're actually going to put the door over here, and then we can, you know, use this to get around over here if we need to. And so I think that's going to be there and there. Now I think we technically could bring the stress over from the crafters here and use a cog wheel. Transfer the stress over here. All right, that guy's going. If we were to connect this one up, yeah, the whole thing is overstressed now. All right, let's connect a few more water wheels up here, and hopefully this should be enough stress for a good while now. And are these guys spinning in the right directions? It looks like they are. Honestly, if I took this here, and then we'd have to bring this out here. Small one, big one, and then small one. These should still be going the same direction, but now a lot faster. And look at that, we've got our crushing wheels going pretty fast. All right, so shoot here, barrel here, and barrel up here. That should work. Let's test it out. So I've got some raw copper, just toss that in here. And we should get crushed copper and hopefully a bit of experience as well off the other side. And look at that, we've got both items. So this is in fact functional, so I can actually just fill this up. Just be very careful not to put anything like my diamond helmet in here because this will actually get crushed into diamonds and diamond shards potentially. Yeah, these were two of the bigger things that I wanted to get set up. I think I still would like to set up a few more things. So maybe do some bulk washing, smelting, haunting, and then smoking. All right, so I think we want 4 different items on here. We want the haunting, the smoking, the blasting, and the washing. We need to first knock out holes in these spots. Our input barrels have to be all the way up here. And for now, we're gonna place some filler blocks here. We can place the chutes on top of. Then we can stick these in here and they should connect everything up. Then what we're gonna want to do is stick these brass funnels on each of these, switch them all to input into the chest. I'm gonna stick a bunch of fans here. And since the funnels are in these blocks here, we can actually stick the items here, stick the water wheel right in here. All right, now they're all blowing in that direction, which is perfect. One thing we have to do now is set the filters on these so that they are only going to stick stuff in here that is processed already. All right, so everything's working fine in here now. So the last thing to do is to label each of these. So whichever one we want to use, we just put the items in there and then they should come out down below. But yeah, this is pretty much all I wanted to get done down to here. This is all the basic create stuff. So next time we can probably start doing a lot more with create because we have like our crushing wheels and then mechanical crafters. Then if we just need to smelt anything up or haunt anything up, actually, in fact, we can just throw all this in here. Yeah, I'm really glad that we got all this work done here because Create is one of my favorite mods, and I'm really excited to start getting into some more of it. And back here, I actually did decide to put a rotational speed controller on here because it just made it a lot easier to get everything, and then it leaves a lot more room for the next thing we're going to be doing with the Create mod, which is our automatic crop farm. But before we do that, you may notice that my health has gone down by a full 20 health points. That's because I actually got the Spice of Life mod to start working. I had to go in and change some MBT data in some of the game files, but it looks like we're all right now, back to normal. But yeah, like I said, this is where we're going to be building our farm. I've got this whole area dug out, and then it's connected up actually to our storage. So this goes right to the wall here, and this wall is actually right here into our base. So that's where our storage really is. It's all back here. We have a bunch of the drawers and then the item vault. And I do want to connect it all up so I can just have this constantly funneling into there. And so I've got all the materials pretty much ready for this. So I've got all the rich soil. I've got the harvesters, the chassis, and then the windmill and everything. So I think we're pretty much ready to build this thing. So this is the center here, and I think we just stick the windmill bearing right on here. And we're gonna do 4 slabs here so we can put water source blocks under here to make this grow a lot faster. I'm gonna leave the last one out for now so I can actually activate the windmill. Then we just gotta start filling in around here. So I placed down all the rich soil, and I was actually a few short, so I wasn't able to fill in the whole thing. I had to replace some with dirt, but that'll be fine. We'll replace all that later. For now, I think this is going to be pretty decent. So what I do want to do is actually start on the actual harvester part itself. So for that, we're going to use some radial chassis and then linear and mechanical harvesters. And then we're also going to need some super glue and some windmill sails. And then a portable storage interface and a barrel as well. So the radial chassis go on here, and then the linear ones, I believe, just go out in this way. Then we can stick the portable storage interface on the end here so it can hook up to the connector over there when we place it in. Then we actually have to put some windmill sails on here as well. So I think we can do 8, and I think we can do one on the end here, and then place our barrel right here. And everything here should connect fine. And ideally all of these should be connected now. But the only way to find out is starting it up. And it's going the wrong direction. That's easy. We can just switch that, and there we go. Everything should be connected, and the barrel's attached. Portable storage interface connected, and I think this is working. That's really great. All right, now that I've added in a little section here for the rice to grow, I think we just need to till all of this farmland. Now that all the farmland is tilled, we can get started with the planting. Then now that it's all planted, we can go ahead and add in our storage interface here. So this should line up perfectly with this spot right here, ideally. And that means we can place our portable storage interface and a chute right about here. All right, there is a bit of stuff inside of this barrel now, so hopefully by the time it comes over here, it will end up stopping and meet with the storage interface and then dispose of all of its items into the barrel. All right, is it gonna do it? It did not do it. And it's because the storage interface is on the bottom here. All right, round 2. Is this gonna work this time? Yes. Great. So we got the advancement, and then hopefully, yep, all the items are now in here, and the barrel should be empty. Perfect. Now we just need to find a way to get it to the main storage system here. So instead of having this barrel here, I wonder if we could put instead a drawer controller and then connect a bunch of storage drawers to this. So unfortunately, it doesn't look like it works this way with the storage drawers and the Tom Simple storage mod. So I think what I may have to do is bring these over here so that the actual storage is up here connected to everything else, but then I can go back and add the trims so that these will still connect to the actual farm itself. We just gotta hook this last one up here, and hopefully now we can head through here. And yep, it looks like we got 200 beetroots, 200 potatoes, 500 carrots. Yeah, this looks perfect. So looks like everything's going perfectly fine. And then if I were to take, say, a stack of these tomatoes, and let me check how many tomatoes there are. There's 181. So if I were to put it over here, it's gonna add... Yep, it looks like I add them right back in. So everything here is pretty connected, it looks like, which is great. All right, perfect. So it may not be the prettiest currently because I still haven't, gotten this whole area looking really nice, but it is at least functional, and we've now started automating all of the crops that we're gonna need for pretty much the rest of the series. But yeah, now we've got our fantastic looking garden up here, and then our super functional garden down below as well. So I think that we've done a pretty decent amount this episode. We got the garden done, which is what I wanted, and then we got the automation started, which is also what I wanted to start working on today. So yeah, I'm really excited with this. I'm really looking forward to more episodes in this series. Of course, before we finish off today, we do have one more thing, which is the comment of the day. And today's comment of the day comes from BenNT692, and he says, we need a bakery, which, yes, yeah, I'm actually planning on potentially making a bakery at some point. I don't know how you read my mind, but that was potentially part of the plan. I was going to convert a village over here, this one that's out the window. You can kind of see it in the corner there. I was planning on converting that, and some of the buildings might end up being some, steampunk style create mod factories and then maybe have some, like a bakery and a couple shops and stuff in there as well. But that is obviously going to come later because it is unfortunately the end of this episode. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And I will see you in the next video. Have a good day, everyone, and goodbye.